Kicking off the show with a nice heavy track from Fit for a King, a newer song, Witness the End, featuring Chris Motionless. Did their EP come out? I think it did. It might have. I don't know. There's been so much new music as of late. I've had listeners hit me up about President's new track, Rage. I've had, I've looked. There's new I Prevail. There's new From Ashes to New coming our way this week. There's new Point North coming out this week, which I'm very excited for. Anyway, it's Peaches. Happy Monday, July 21st, 2025. Excited for all the new music. It's prime time for new music, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it all. I did enjoy my weekend. It did go by a little too fast, and by that I mean way too fast. Went to Rexburg, hung out both days. Got that Grandpa Joe's ketchup soda that we tried earlier on the noon hour of Madness and Mayhem. I still need to get that video up on our socials at KBear 101 FM. Not necessarily a bad soda, not necessarily a crazy reaction, but it was us just trying it, and wasn't all that bad. Saw it at this place called Running Through Sweets or something like that up in Rexburg. They had a wide variety of different sodas because, it's Rexburg. Soda's their specialty. And I did see a lot of different peach sodas, and I like to collect peach things, so I collected 2 new bottles that have the word peach on it because, peach is my last name. There's a lot of people out there. Well, there are probably a lot of new listeners that are like, hey, why is this guy's name Peaches? And there's probably a lot of listeners that just haven't paid attention. They go, yeah, why is this guy's name Peaches? My last name's Peach, hence why when you see on Facebook, you see Brendan Peach popping up. That's not a stage name. I'm the only guy here in the building that doesn't use a fake name or an alternative to their OG name. Like, for me, just Brendan Peach, Peaches. I was born with the stage name. I'm just, trying my best to live up to it. I have a local topic to discuss here in just a few on Peach's Pip Party. Don't go anywhere. I did enjoy the conversation over the weekend. I saw it pop up on Facebook. There was this meme that somebody shared in Life in Idaho Falls that just simply said, when I say I'm at the ghetto Walmart, what Walmart am I talking about? And so somebody asked the question in Life in Idaho Falls on Facebook. I'm curious, do we have a ghetto Walmart here? And then there was a follow-up voting poll. Now, I was trying to find this voting poll. I just realized when looking at the photo I had screenshotted on my phone that it's from a different Life in Idaho Falls Facebook group. There's 2 different ones for some reason. There's Life in Idaho Falls, parentheses, SE, Southeast Idaho. And then there's just straight up Life in Idaho Falls. Can I search in this group? Walmart. See if it pops up. There it is. So there was this whole voting poll. Which Walmart is more ghetto here in the area? And it only really specified Idaho Falls. I think there's only one Walmart in Pocatello, right? But there's 2 here in Idaho Falls. There's one in Ammon, one on Utah Avenue. And Utah, for some reason, the Utah Avenue location was voted the most ghetto. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to all the staff members. Surely this is a great accomplishment. But I have to say, in my own personal opinion, the Ammon Walmart has to be the more ghetto one. The location's awful. The inside looks a little bit more sad and gray. Looks a little bit more, I wouldn't say it's scary because I grew up in Southern California, and I mean, Walmart, if you go to a Walmart in Southern California, you're considered one of the, ghetto, not ghetto. You're considered one of the, I wouldn't even say anything. It's basically like if you go to a Walmart in Southern California, you're considered to be less fortunate than others. I mean, you shop where you shop, right? I used to go to Target quite a lot back where I came from, and it was a lot more fun back then when I had more spending money. Now that I live on my own and have to pay my own bills, magically I don't really go to Target all that much anymore. And the Target here in the area, well, I'm sorry, I hate to say it, kind of sucks. It's about the size of my shoebox. And, I know Pocatello is going to be getting one soon, I think, right? It did get confirmed that Target will be in Pocatello. They'll probably have a nice new superstore. Might need to make a drive down to Pokey to go there at least a couple of times, right? But I did enjoy the whole conversation about which Walmart is more ghetto. Congratulations to the Walmart on Utah Avenue in Idaho Falls. I am super excited to hear what comes about of the Weird Al Yankovic ticket giveaway we are currently doing. It just started today, as a matter of fact. So anytime from today through Friday. Listen for that cue to call, be caller 20. You don't win tickets then. You have to, yank that hook is what we're calling it, where you take a popular rock or metal song, give the chorus a Weird Al makeover, just the chorus, just like a brief couple of seconds of the song, turn it into a parody, make it about whatever you feel like. Make sure, it's radio friendly. Like we talked about on Victor's morning show, JD called in live on the air and said, well, I can't even say what he said, I don't think, because I think that would classify as a JPA, a Jade Pucker alert. What he referred to was a classic reference to the AC/DC song, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. And I'm not going to say what he said because, again, JPA, don't want that to happen to me. But when you hear that cue to call, be caller 20, not right now, at 208-535-1015, and then yank that hook, sing us your masterpiece or disaster piece. Either way, you could win one of these very few pairs of tickets that we have for Weird Al Yankovic live at the Mountain America Center on August 8th. Okay, so I saw this headline pop up many times over the weekend. I was, in fact, talking about it with different people, and it's quite sad, to be quite honest with you. There was that whole story about that guy, that 19-year-old kid. I call it a kid because, well, I consider maybe just a teenager, 19-year-old teenager, young adult, whatever you want to call it. This poor dude is no more. He got sucked into like one of those machines at Tina's Burrito Factory. Like he was yelling for help. His coworkers finally go to him, and he, got sucked into the machine, so now he's no longer with us. This is a very similar story. This man died after he had this weight training chain around his neck that pulled him into the MRI machine. Now, an MRI machine is no joke. It's insane how big and clunky those things are, but what they do is what's the word I'm looking for? Forget it. This man who wore a large weight training chain around his neck, he approached his wife while the MRI machine was scanning her knee at a clinic in New York. The device forcefully pulled him in, and he just died right then and there. Could you imagine you're just going there to the hospital to go help your wife? Next thing you know, gone. That wife's traumatized. But also at the same time, you got to be smart around those machines. There's so many rules about those MRI machines. I had an MRI done a couple months back, and I kept getting in trouble with the guy because he's like, hey, you keep slightly moving. Please sit still. And I really couldn't. I was getting kind of claustrophobic in there. I'm like, hey, can I take a break and then do this again? The noises, everything about an MRI machine, it's no joke. You have to wear earplugs. You have to close your eyes. All of that, really. I can't imagine just walking in the room while the MRI machine is going. Was he in the same room? Like, did he walk in as it was going? Like, did nobody tell him, hey, do not attempt to even open that door? Like, why are you wearing a giant weightlifting chain around your neck in a hospital in the first place? So many questions on this story here. Maybe I should read the full article. Yeah, maybe that would help. It looks like we're getting a show about Bill Belichick at North Carolina. After all, if you remember, earlier this year, HBO wanted Belichick for their Hard Knocks show. That deal fell through, reportedly due to issues with Belichick's girlfriend, Jordan Hudson. Another deal is in place that involves a different documentary series about Belichick that will air on Hulu instead. Both the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Seattle Seahawks are marking their 50th anniversaries this season, so it's no surprise that they'll be turning back the clock when they play each other in Seattle during Week 5. The Buccaneers will be wearing their white creamsicle jersey from their first season, while the Seahawks will be wearing their royal blue jerseys. Both teams will also sport the helmets that they wore in the past. Weren't they made of like leather? Like they were like not even like they were barely helmets from back in the day. How are they going to make that work with how quote unquote soft football is now? I mean, back in the day, there was hardly any rules and it was such a dangerous sport overall. But anyway, the Seattle Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh, I always have a tough time saying this guy's last name, Cal Raleigh, finally has an endorsement deal that fits his nickname of Big Dumper. Yeah, Raleigh is now a spokesman for Honey Bucket, a sanitation company that primarily specializes in portable toilets. To announce the deal, the company posted a photo of Rayleigh behind the wheel of a pickup truck hauling a large portable toilet. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. Hey, so if you were one of our ticket winners or you just went to the Volbeat Hailstorm and the Ghost Inside concert at the Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater this past Saturday, Tony Hawk was in Salt Lake City, and I guess there was like some sort of competition. There was like this vert skate competition, something like that. Yeah, Tony Hawk's Vert Alert skateboarding competition returned to Salt Lake City. I believe it happened on Friday and Saturday. Well, Tony himself was, in fact, in Salt Lake City, and he left a skateboard behind and posted about it on his social media. I don't think it was a mistake he left it behind. I think it was a total scavenger hunt type thing. That's been big as of late. There was a local gym that did something a lot like a Find the Rock scavenger hunt or something like that Maddie and Mac from across the hall were doing at one point. But yeah, Tony did post this video. Just left my skateboard in this Salt Lake City park, finders keepers, and I'm sure many people just went right to that park. Did that park have a playground, or was it just a skate park that he went to? Because when he said park, I just immediately thought of like, a whole bunch of kids are on the slides, all that fun stuff, the swing set. Next thing you know, a bunch of teenagers and adults just come running to that park to try to find a skateboard. I'm assuming it was, in fact, a skate park, but imagine being that one guy that just finds a random skateboard and takes it. Well, if I were to find a skateboard, I would be that guy to be like, okay, I need to find the owner, post about it, but then, see Tony Hawk's post and go, oh, okay, I can keep it. That's awesome. I wouldn't even ride that thing. I would have that on my wall for the rest of my life. Ghost on K-Bear 101, Idaho's only rock station. There was another voting poll posted not that long ago by the Life in Idaho Falls admin, out of all people. You think they would know about this if they're running a local Facebook group. They're supposed to know all about the area. Well, the admin asked the question, should the city of Idaho Falls build a parking garage downtown? There is property available. Not only did they ask this question, but they allowed people to add their own responses, something that I would never do. But the options were, yes, parking is a nightmare downtown. This would bring in more business for the local businesses there. Another option, no, 2-hour parking is fine. I don't know why you would vote for something like that. Another option, I stay away from downtown because of the parking issues. That's something I voted for. That's the option I voted for, I should say. Just because any downtown area, not just Idaho Falls specifically, any downtown area sucks. It's always one-way streets. You have to park in a parking garage. You have to pay money to park there. It's one of the worst ideas ever. And then the other option, it doesn't affect me much. Well, they asked the question. The reason why I'm talking about this is because they asked, should the city of Idaho Falls build a parking garage downtown? Apparently, there already is one. Multiple people pointed that out in the comment section. I didn't know there was one either. I haven't seen it, but apparently it's right by Smokin' Fins. So, at least it wasn't me asking a stupid question this time. Okay? Wow, you gotta love the radio prep. It's always full of enticing stuff to talk about. Like when you answer the phone, do you say hello? Might sound like a crazy question is what it says, unless you're under 28. It seems some Gen Zers expect the person calling to say hello first. This phenomenon went viral with a post on Twitter where someone who works in recruiting wrote about her experience calling Gen Zers. Last show on Friday, we talked about that Gen Z stare where they just stare at you blankly. Now they're not even saying hello on the phone. What's with the young people, huh? I'm barely older than the Gen Zer crowd, but still, I guess I'm considered a millennial. The whole thing's messed up because I'm in that weird area between millennial and I'm definitely not a Gen Zer. Victor just likes to label me as one because he knows it annoys me. And I'm not a part of that crowd. Usually, the Gen Z crowd doesn't like to be on the phone to begin with, right? They always like to text all the time. The older I get, the less I want to type. You know who the worst texter is in the building? Jade Davis. He's the stereotypical dad, sends the thumbs up emoji, doesn't even respond half the time. Not only does that to me, but he also does that to a variety of other people. But I get it because, the older I get, the less I want to text people, the less I want to have a conversation all day with somebody. It's kind of annoying. Might as well just save it till after work. Or when you both have free time, I should say, and then you just call them, talk to them, hang up, and go back to your day. It's kind of annoying to do all my stuff here and then have to pull up my phone and be like, oh, let me answer a text. And if I don't respond, then they follow it up. Why are you ignoring me? Why are you ghosting me? Leave me alone. All right. That's a quick, easy way for me to block your numbers. If you follow up a text by saying, are you ghosting me? Done. Well, this person, I'm a recruiter, so I do a ton of phone interviews, and something I've noticed about Gen Z specifically is that a lot of them answer the phone and don't say anything. Like, I can hear their breathing in the background noise, but they wait for you to say hello first. If I were to be that person, I would just simply, not say anything, see how long it can go before they can muster up the courage to be like, hello? Okay, enough picking on Gen Z. I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to bring it up again. I know. I'm a bad person for talking about this. Again, the fast food drive-thru, overall designed for a quick and convenient way to grab a bite to eat, but the word fast doesn't always describe the experience. You got long lines, customizable orders, you got people with giant families in the car, or even worse, there's that person in the car that then has to call their kids to ask, hey, what do you want again? And then holds up the entire line because they have 4 kids who have no idea what to get. What I'm going to do as a future parent, be like, hey, write your order down on this piece of paper. Whatever you write down is exactly what you're getting. No changes, no nothing. And then just go to the drive-thru, get their food. And if they don't eat it, they starve. Okay? Simple as that. Because I don't want to be that parent that's like, all right, what do you want? Does that long just pause and then nothing, and then I feel bad for the people behind me that are like on their hour-long lunch break. But according to a new survey of regular drive-thru customers, the restaurant with the slowest service is Wingstop. Congratulations to them. Their trophy will be in the mail. Slowest drive-thru in America. Close behind them, Culver's for some reason. And Church's Chicken. Isn't Church's Chicken like in a bunch of gas stations across the country? Or am I thinking of something different? Culver's themselves, perfect. Great drive-through system. You pull up ahead. They give you the food, which also, for some reason, that one is passable, okay? They give you the number. They get it to you fast. Usually, I get a little bit of upset. I've talked about this before. I get a little bit of upset when I'm at the second window, and then they go, oh, your jalapeno poppers are going to take a little bit of time. Can you go ahead and park right there by the bush? And I will always be like, well, it's a drive-through, not a sit and stay. Like a fat, impatient loser, Not surprising. Drive-throughs in California are the slowest overall. That's because there's so many people. And those workers are way overwhelmed. My friend Matt lives on Hollywood Boulevard. Let me give it his full address on the air. I'm just kidding. No, he said he would go to In-N-Out Burger more, but the one that he lives by is the most crowded place ever because it's right there in the middle of Hollywood. You got to think tons of tourists are walking in. It would suck to work there. As for the quickest drive-thru experience, Chick-fil-A came out on top. Chick-fil-A, your trophy's in the mail. It's surprising considering previous surveys routinely showed them to be among the slowest. So I guess they sped it up. Well, they have more than one lane. And that's what drive-thrus are doing now. It's now customary to have 2 lanes instead of 1. But my one gripe with that is that most of the time, one of the lanes are closed, especially during busy times. Like it'll be like 12:30 on a weekday. They're down to 1 lane in the drive-thru, and that thing's backed up all the way back, impeding in the parking lot. McDonald's came in second, which I like to dabble with the app way more than the drive-thru nowadays. I like it even quicker. I like to just show up to McDonald's curbside pickup. It's fantastic. I love that part of technology. In case you've been under a rock as of late, August 8th at the Mountain America Center, Weird Al Yankovic. I always want to call him Weird Al Yankovic. I feel like it is Weird Al Yankovic. You know what? I'll call him that instead. Because it's Josh Tyler of Classy 97 who told me it's Yankovic, but he's also the guy that also thinks GIF is called GIF. And GIF is a peanut butter, not a moving picture. Anyway, Weird Al Yankovic and Puddle's Pity Party are going to be at the Mountain America Center on August 8th. It's coming up soon, and we have a few pairs of tickets for that nearly sold-out show. I'm shocked on how little tickets there are left. If you want to buy your tickets, you might want to go on it as of right now because there's nothing. And I mean, literally, there's hardly any seats left. Some of them are just single seats by themselves. So if you're like me and need a pal, well, you might as well go to the show solo and maybe find that pal sitting next to you. Who knows? But if you want to win a pair of tickets, well, we're going to be doing this game called Yank That Hook. Considering we only have a few pairs of tickets to give away, we want to make those who want to win them work for them. And this is a fun little game called Yank That Hook, where you got to listen out for that cue to call, not right now. Be caller 20 when you hear that cue to call. And then once you are caller 20, all you have to do is take a rock or metal song and give the chorus, just the chorus, a Weird Al makeover. Turn it into a parody. Make it about, I don't know, burritos, something like that. I came up with that Chat GPT generated parody of Nothing Else Matters by Metallica, Nothing Else Platters, all about charcuterie boards. If you're not that creative on the spot, or you just need that extra help, you can always use Chat GPT to help you out. As long as you're not that person that makes it obvious that you're reading off a script when you're on the phone as caller 20, something like that. And I want you to belt it out loud too, right? We could be like, hey, yours wasn't good enough. See ya. Move on to the next person. I could imagine. Weird Al Yankovic and Puddle's Pity Party to compete against Peach's Pit Party, I guess, live at the Mountain America Center on August 8th. If you want to win tickets for that show, listen out for that cue to call and then yank that hook with us here at K-Bear 101. This headline immediately got my attention. Microsoft drops nearly $2 billion on world's most expensive poop burial service. And I'm looking at the article here. It goes on to say, well, Microsoft has announced a groundbreaking partnership with carbon removal company Vaulted Deep, signing a deal to eliminate nearly 5 million metric tons of carbon emissions over the next 12 years. The agreement, potentially worth more than $2 billion based on current market rates, represents one of the largest corporate carbon removal commitments to date. Something about how I forgot what this whole second paragraph's about. Unlike traditional carbon capture methods that extract CO2 directly from the atmosphere, Vaulted Deep employs a unique approach that transforms organic waste into a permanent carbon storage solution. The company collects manure, sewage, and agricultural byproducts that would otherwise decompose in landfills or contaminate waterways, converting them into a thick slurry that is injected approximately 5,000 feet underground. We're literally making a sewage smoothie and then burying it deep within the earth, like almost a mile underground. A poop smoothie. Okay, I don't want to go too far with this and get myself in trouble with Jade. All right. Well, a Canadian woman received strange phone calls for a whole year from random people claiming they found her cat, even though her cat, Mauser, is that how you say the name? Is it Mauser? Mauser, wasn't missing. Mauser was at home. Wasn't missing whatsoever. Last week, she finally learned what it was all about. She began receiving calls last year, but Mauser, her black cat, was always right there at home on the couch. Went on for a whole year that she was receiving these calls about her cat missing until her boyfriend finally confronted one of the late night callers and got to the bottom of it. It turns out someone had bought a novelty shirt online. It featured a fake missing cat ad. It included a cash reward and a real phone number. That number just so happened to be Natasha, the lady. The shirt was sold by a U.S. company called Wisdom, Wisdumb. And while they've since pulled the shirt from their website, the damage was done. Natasha's number is still floating around on social media. The calls have not stopped. She says she's been harassed day and night, and she's not changing her number. It's been hers for nearly 20 years. The calls may continue for a while. Kind of reminds me of how I've been getting these calls for a Janet Martinez, and I've had my number for close to 20 years. No, I've had it for less than that, but still a very long time. And I keep getting these spam calls asking for Janet Martinez, and I'm like, I have no idea who Janet Martinez even is. So I feel for this woman. I was actually about to try to find her phone number, try giving her a call, be like one of those trolls playing cat sounds in the background. Hey, I found your cat. No, best to leave her alone. All right, I'm sure you're sick and tired of seeing the memes online as much as I am about the astronomer CEO. Like, it was funny for the first day or so, but we're now like on day 3 or 4, maybe even 5. I don't know. I've lost track of how many memes I have seen on Facebook about this whole thing is ridiculous. Now, it's one thing to cheat and have an affair. It's another thing to be caught at a Coldplay concert publicly and then have you become one of the highlights of the year. And all of that, have your full name and company you work for just be blasted out there into the public. Now, any publicity is good publicity, I would think, for, the company. Like, everyone's going to remember Astronomer now being that company that had the cheating CEO. Well, the CEO, Andy Byron, the guy that I'm talking about, resigned following the whole thing. What I talked about on Friday, I think I predicted it on Friday, is that he was going to resign. And there's even like a dumb 8-bit video game all about the whole thing, like where you're the camera operator trying to find the couple in the audience and you earn points the faster you find them. Like I said, the whole thing is ridiculous. And I feel bad for the significant others of those two people. Like, could you imagine trying to date them in the future? And it's like, oh, what happened to your last relationship, may I ask? Oh, yeah. You remember that whole Coldplay concert incident? That was my husband, or something like that, We are not only giving away tickets for Weird Al Yankovic live at the Mountain America Center on August 8th, we are also giving away tickets for a show that's coming up even sooner. And I believe Victor is going to have an interview with Tim Brennan of the Dropkick Murphys. I talked with Tim the last time Dropkick Murphys were in town at the Mountain America Center with Pennywise and the Scratch. That was a cool show. Now I'm excited that Dropkick Murphys are returning with Bad Religion and the Mainliners. I was like, for some reason, I was about to say Sitting on Saturn. I'm like, no, that's the 311 show. Quite a few shows making their way to Pocatello. Dropkick Murphys, Bad Religion, the Mainliners live at the Portneuf Health Trust Amphitheater on Friday, August 1st. Next Friday, not this upcoming one, but the one after. We have your tickets for that show. Listen out for that cue to call this entire week, not right now. Who was our winner from earlier this morning? Jeremy. Shout out to listener Jeremy winning tickets for that show. Won them on Victor's morning show. I believe I'll probably give away some tickets tomorrow. And it should be exciting to see the punk legends once more here in the area. Dropkick Murphys, Bad Religion with the Mainliners. Try your best to be caller 20 when you hear that cue to call and come join the party Friday, August 1st. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, a.k.a. Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.